straighten that camera out a little bit. Today in Northern Virginia, in the Washington, D.C. area, we are dealing with what back in my homeland we would have called a wicked scorcher. It's pretty brutal out there, and I'm glad to be inside. Why did I leave my house today? I asked myself that same question, but it was free RPG day. So I went in, and then through convoluted means, my wife joined me, and we stopped off at Labyrinth in Washington, D.C., my favorite game store in the region. Sadly, not my local game store. It's actually kind of a haul to get there. But it's the store that I really most like to support when I have the opportunity. Just thought I'd mention, because it's so hot, I am having myself a gin and tonic, Dogfish Head Compelling Gin with a little bit of bitters and tonic. It is refreshing on a day like today. What did I get at Free RPG Day? Well, first up, I got the Story Engine deck of cards. I have kind of been eyeing up some Story Engine stuff before. It looks interesting. This goes into some of my previous videos where I was talking about my interest in solo RPGs. These seem like they would be helpful, as well as just adventure design, that kind of thing. What do we have? We have aspect cards. So you might have this aspect card. We've got empty, protective, deceptive, faithful. So I guess I could flip that over if I wanted an aspect of something. Story Engine conflict card. What are some conflicts we might have? My hand is in the way. So yeah, that's... But first, they must repair the damage they have done. But they will owe something to someone they despise. Uh-oh. So, ways to create conflict. Anchor card. I don't know what that means. We have a pit, a mountain, a flask, a sacrifice. Anchor cards. I'm sure I'll find out what that means. There is a little booklet comes by. Engine card. We have wants to gain fame with/from, or wants to gain fortune with/from. And agent card. Let's see, a stand-in, a doppelganger, a twin, an imposter. So, that's pretty cool. Each little mini deck here of different things. That's going to be really helpful. I mean, I say it's going to be really helpful. That could be really helpful for designing scenarios at some point, or whatever that I might need some random cards for. What else did I get? I got the Avatar Legends, the role-playing game. Rebels and Refugees Adventure. So I got the free RPG day for this. I don't remember. I think it was 2 years ago. I don't think it was last year. I'm really interested in playing this game. I had a line on a session of it at one point, but it didn't end up panning out. So I'm curious. I really, really enjoyed the Avatar, the animated series. I had a harder time with the second series, blanking on the name of the character, but I had a harder time on the second series because I really didn't care about the tournament fight stuff that was going on in the first season. I do think that wrapped up by the end of the first season, but I got sidelined and never got back to it. So I'm going to try to go back and finish the show. It had some really cool ideas, but the whole tournament fight thing did not excite my interest at all. Anyway, very curious about the game. I see that the starter set is available for like $19.99, so I may check that out at some point. Also got Dragonbane, the Sinking Tower, tournament style quick start. So I'm curious about that. You know, I recently read Dragonbane. I really enjoyed it. Looks like we've got some trimmed down version of the rules, and it looks like a lot of repeat art from what we've seen in previous books. Melee combat. The rules for this game are relatively simple. Now they've complexed it up a little bit from just the most basic role playing, but a lot of its core is basic role playing, which is a pretty easy system. We've got some magic. We've got some maps. So the Sinking Tower, that is, the name of the scenario. And this, in a nice fashion, this is not a repeat of something that was in like the quick start rules or something like that, or in the box set. This is not one of the adventures in the box set. Now, is this an adventure that's been somewhere else? It might be. I don't know. But unless I'm crazy, I'm pretty sure it is not from the box set. So that's nice. Guidelines for convention play. I am hoping in December take a trip up to Philadelphia and go to PAX U. And boy, if there's a game of Dragonbane going, I certainly want to try that out. We've got pre-generated characters. Are these the same characters from the... These look like the same characters that have been in there before, but I'd have to take a look to be sure. I say that this one looks new, but I'd have to look to be sure. So anyway, Dragonbane, and the one that I was there for, the one that I'm always looking for, is the Dungeon Crawl Classics scenario. Let's see, this is Across the Veil of Time, level 1 adventure by Marzio Muscadere, if I'm saying that at all correctly, which would not be any guarantee. Let's see, what do we have? Adrift in time and space. When a would-be hero tampers with the time stream, he opens the world to potentially cataclysmic ramifications. Now it's up to the PCs to rescue the meddling soul from the clutches of a time-distorting demon and save the multiverse from winding down forever. Can they stop the clock on Doomsday, or will they drown in the sands of time? Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. Veil of Time is designed for a party of 4 to 6 first-level characters. That's the information that I usually like to have. Not because that's how I'm going to try to balance it, because I don't really, especially with Dungeon Crawl Classics, I don't believe in play balance. But I like to have an idea of what the intention is so that I know what I'm getting into. Handouts, man. I love handouts. Very cool. Very cool. So I'll be jazzed to check this out when I get a chance. And then, because you should always buy something when you go. It doesn't have to be something big, but you should always pick up something to support the games. That's the stores. It's the whole point of Free RPG Day. I have been hemming and hawing about these books for the last couple of years. I've been meaning to pick them up. I didn't really want to do the online order because that can get expensive with shipping and all of that sort of thing. But I picked up Into the Cess and Citadel by Alex Kogan, if I'm saying that right, and Charlie Ferguson Avery, and Into the Weird and Wild by Charles... Did I say Charlie? Yeah, Charles Ferguson Avery. These are, I have heard very good things about them. They're supposed to be good resources for just for your games to help make them weird and wild. Into the Weird and Wild is a supplemental book for those seeking to incorporate a weird and terrifying wilderness into their role-playing game. The book contains rules for wilderness travel and survival, rules for hunting, tracking, and butchering monsters. That's something I'm really interested in checking out. 50 beasts of branch and bone, strange and savage items and spells, an essay, pardon me, an essay and guidelines on running and creating wilderness dungeons. A step-for-step guide for generating your own wilderness adventure. 100 random wilderness locations. Tables for random diseases, wilderness dressings, traps, hazards, flora, encounters, and more. So I'd heard very good things. And because I as I have mentioned before, I have a love for urban adventures. There is Into the Sesson Citadel. Into the Sesson Citadel is a supplemental TTRPG book for those seeking to incorporate strange, colorful, and terrifying city into their role-playing game. The book contains the rules for traveling and surviving in a city, including exploration, traffic, and hazards, tools for generating unique urban factions and their complicated relationships, step-by-step, I can almost say it, step-by-step guides for generating and running 3 unique city landscapes: the sprawling megacity, the dungeon-like undercity, and the dangerously opulent spires. 50 plus monsters ranging from depraved aristocrats, sewer walruses, and dire pigeons. Magical artifacts, curious spells, diseases, 100 locations, and more. All written in system-neutral format for use in most role-playing games. So, that's all very exciting to me because, again, if I can ever actually get an ongoing group of people together to play games, I would probably start with something a little loosey-goosey, but I would love to get into doing a big, sprawling, urban, campaign of some kind of crazy Lankmar city-state of the invincible overlord, that kind of thing. I have a city that I have kind of come up with for my home-built Dungeon Crawl Classics world, which isn't even necessarily wedded to Dungeon Crawl Classics, but the world that I imagine my scenarios are set in. I have a city for that. I would love to get characters to it at some point. In the scenarios that I have so far, it is going to be a distant thing people know about, but at some point I want to take people there. Anyhow, checking these out to go with my free RPG day pickups. I will follow this up with a video on my second stop on free RPG day. And if you enjoy anything that I have blithered and blathered about today, please do like, subscribe, do all of the usual YouTube things. Check out my links in the doobly-doo below, and you can support me in some way if you feel that that is something that you would like to do. Until next time, stay groovy and take care.